unless you need any last minute setups.
Nope, I'm good.
Lily?
No, I think I'm good.
Alright. So, give me a quick countdown and then we'll start. Atheus.
1, 2, 3, go.
Oh.
Yeah, well, that was the count up.
Oh, no. Alright.
3,
We're
2, 1,
starting.
10, 8, 4, 0.
Go. Oh, nah. Alright. Deep within the darkest parts of the universe, in a chamber surrounded by stars and constellations of varying shapes and colors, Yog-Sothoth stands before a large computer screen. The entire chamber is filled with ancient and future technologies and knowledge, spanning every and any decade, eras gone by, and eras yet to be, spanning upwards into a vast darkness that only Yog-Sothoth knows where it ends. On the screen, Yog-Sothoth watches the events of the past several years unfold before him. His hand pressed to his chin, he watches in silence, taking in every detail, every major event that has happened thus far. Let me turn this down just a little bit. There we go. Where was I? He sees the opening of the hold, the catalyst for all the events that led up to this very moment in time. The formation of the guild, the constant battles between the guild and predators, while the cult of Nyarlathotep worked in secret for his own nefarious purposes. Yog-Sothoth watches as one by one the threads that made up Nyarlathotep's web of lies fall to pieces. The day when the heroes chosen by destiny, or perhaps by the hand of someone more sinister than even Nyarlathotep, Lily, Lucas, Wyoming, Bao, Waffle, Demarayan, and Jack Jabungo, the one who would eventually become Nyarlathotep's assassin, Obsidian. He watched as Flag, Nyarlathotep's guise as the leader of the guild, unsuspectingly banded the group together, unaware that they would be the ones to bring his ambitions to a grinding halt. Yog-Sothoth watched as the events continued to unfold. The siege of Dilathleen, the taking of Iscariot Manor, and their first real encounter with the crawling chaos. The fall of the demon queen Oleander, who was seduced by the knowledge that comes with knowing the name of the demon sultan, whose name no mortal lips dare speak. The destruction of Valentine Mansion, and the act of a foolish Longma that became the catalyst that brought Nyarlathotep's greatest fear to Phonum, the observers, but also the act that would lead Jack to his fate as Obsidian. The destruction of the Scorpion Underground, and the death of the Queen and the Gertablalu, and their descent into Hell, where they would meet Honored Father, and gain the help of Nyarlathotep's deadliest enemy, Asmodeus. The return to Phonum, and the absolute luck of uncovering the darkest truth. The heart of Huoshan, and the Empress strapped to the terrible device, a product of Nyarlathotep's terrible experiments. The death of the Empress and obtaining the will of the Empress, this act causing Huoshan to return to its former state, and forcing the non-Longma members of the guild out of Huoshan, to make a temporary home within Chang'an and Flame Lily's home village. Yog-Sothoth watched as the party battled against the Cyber Initiative prototype, and their descent into the Shadow Plane, where they would eventually claim the final two nails in Nyarlathotep's proverbial coffin, the Aiastir and the soul of Faust. Yog-Sothoth waves his hand as the screen changes. At the same time as the group descended into the Shadow Plane, Demarayan, along with the Jack of Clubs, whose true identity was only known to the King of Hearts and to Yog-Sothoth, who knows and sees all, and the identity of the Jack's wielder amused Yog-Sothoth. He watched as the true traversed through the graveyard of realities, caused by the Observer's doomsday weapon, the Time Lock, the device that could freeze every atom in any given reality into a single moment in time. He watched as they battled against the glitches, the terrible sentient life forms that devoured the frozen, brain-dead inhabitants of that terrible place. And he watched as a handful of very small glitches dug themselves into Ryan's body like fleas, and then jumped to Cabadoth, slowly devouring him from the inside. He watched the heroes destroy the glitched Cabadoth, destroying his body, mind, and soul in the process. Finally, he watched the most recent events unfold. The Siege of Rain, the home base of Nyarlathotep's cult, a trap for all those who believed Rain was a safe haven, only to be captured and hauled off for Nyarlathotep's experiments. He watched as the combined efforts of the guild laid waste to Rain with very little resistance. And finally, descending upon Nyarlathotep's tower, which the cult saw as the center of their twisted faith. He watched the party do battle, but ultimately fell, until Lucas, the small scorpion, awakened the unified power of the dragons, granting godlike power to his allies, and with their unified power, struck Nyarlathotep down, or at least, that is what they believed. He watched as Flame Lily was shot and subsequently assassinated by Jack Jabungo, now truly becoming obsidian with this act, and Nyarlathotep escaping. Yog-Sothoth once again changed screens, seeing Flame Lily in her home, writing and setting notes around her room before she began her plan. If there was a faith beneath Yog-Sothoth's hood, he'd be smiling at the pure genius of Lily's plan. Altering her memories and creating a clone of herself, and the eventual death of that clone by Obsidian's hand, unbeknownst to everyone. Yog-Sothoth waved his hand once more to observe the current state of Phonum, and he watched in absolute fascination at what he saw. In various parts of the world, West Side, Rain, Huoshan, the Prairie, and the Alpaca Mountains, pillars of shimmering, colorful light began to surround them. Yog-Sothoth stared into the screen, amazed at what he saw. With but a wave of his hand, he teleported to West Side, staring into the shimmering light. It reflected almost like a mirror. Yog-Sothoth reached his hand in, watching his interest as his hand sank through, the light acting like water. With no fear or hesitation, he stepped through. A moment later, he stepped out, and he began to laugh. Interesting. Truly interesting, he exclaimed, laughing in delight. This is a first experience, even for me. I need to confirm my suspicions with the others, he said, before teleporting one by one to the other shimmering lights. He stepped into the prairie's light, and once again returning a moment later. Interesting. This one leads to... He stops his sentence in mid-thought, continuing to teleport to the other shimmering lights, and as he finished, he returned to his chambers. Yog-Sothoth began to laugh. Behind his laugh was an emotion he had not felt in a long, long time. Excitement. Real, genuine excitement. How interesting. I've never seen a timeline act like this before, he said, before looking up into the screen. As he contemplated it, he heard a voice, low and booming, a voice that echoed throughout the universe. Yog-Sothoth! He turned around to see a small mass of colors and shape, no color or shape the same. Yog-Sothoth looked up into the mass in shock. My lord, he said before bowing low. Explain to me why Nyarlathotep has not yet fallen. It roared without emotion, yet it needed none. Nyarlathotep is craftier than we expected. However, he has suffered a most crucial defeat. It is only a matter of time, my lord, he said. Yet he is not truly defeated. I can sense the corruption of this timeline. You are running out of time. The observers are set to use the time lock soon, the voice boomed. I see. Am I to stop them? He asked. With words, Yog-Sothoth, not violence. The observers are still needed in the events to come. You need only halt their process but for a few short moments. But you must stop them. This is my will, the voice boomed. Yog-Sothoth stood up, bowing his head. So it is commanded. So it shall be. This, the will of Azathoth. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second half of the Huoshan Hunters Guild.
They're definitely in for a surprise.
Hmm?
Nothing?
So, when we last left off, you had all completed the Siege of Rain, defeated Nyarlathotep, and brought down the center of the cult's faith. However, anyways, where was I? So, also, if everyone hasn't noticed, I may or may not play with the concepts of these characters a bit. Just a bit.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. Anyways, so you defeated Nyarlathotep and brought down the tower of the cult. However, despite that, Nyarlathotep seemed to have survived and destroyed. He assassinated Flame Lily with the help of Jack Jabungo, now revealing himself under the guise of Obsidian. Managed to escape, and you all returned back to
Sorry.
yeah, no. You all returned back to Lily's village with her remains, only to realize shortly later that the flame lily that was killed ultimately turned to be a fake. And we start the second half of the Huoshan Hunters Guild with where the real flame lily went, as it was revealed at the very end of the first half, Flame Lily plane shifted from Phonum to the Boneyard. Lily, when you finally emerge from the portal, you see the familiar sight. The tower of bones piling high and as far as the eye can see. In the center, you see the Tower of Pharasma, where she judges and sends the dead to their final resting places.
Okay. Is there anything sentient around?
Aside from the long line of dead going into the tower, no.
Oh, there's a long line of dead? Okay.
Yes, a rather
I-
long line of dead. And actually, you you do recognize a few of them. They are members of the guild, though fortunately you spot none of your friends.
Okay. Lily's actually gonna walk up to them.
They just turn. They are devoid of life and emotion.
Are any of you casters?
I was.
Do you think you can help me? I need something dispelled, and I'm supposed to find the first person who can do it.
Why does it matter? Nothing
I'm on a
matters
mission.
anymore. Nothing matters anymore. He just says as he continues walking forward.
It's not helpful. So, Lily's gonna decide to follow the line, I guess, until she runs into something that's not a husk of a person.
All right, well, you stand in the line.
Well, she's gonna walk beside the line. She's a
Are you gonna walk beside
cutting
the line?
bastard.
Oh, okay. So you walk beside the line. Eventually, it gets up to a door. As you see the dead just filing through.
She's gonna try and follow them.
Okay. So you follow the line, and eventually leads into a single chamber. In which someone is judging the dead, sending
Is
them.
this someone like a 15-foot tall white chick?
It may be. As they step up one by one, she very quickly, it's rather quick, she just gazes into them for one moment and judges them, looks at one. Heaven for you. The next one. Elysium. A wonderful place. Next one coming up. Hell for you, Miss Lily. Says as she stares right at you.
I don't think I'm dead.
Not yet, you're not. She raises an arm, a hand up.
Wait,
Take care of these. Take care of these dead for me, she says to someone. I seem to have an unwelcome visitor. She slides off of the slides off of the chair and walks up to you. That's a rather bold stunt you pulled.
I agree, but I'm not even sure what stunt I pulled. I
Yes.
think I might have erased my memories.
Were it not for Asmodeus's threats against me, you would never regain them. Turn yourself around.
She, does it.
Alright. She sees the mark on the back of your neck. Just with a wave, easily dispels it as your memories return.
Oh, Fresma. I've come here to make a deal.
You came to the wrong god for deals. I'm not Asmodeus, but
It's not
your
a...
plans. Your plan was integral in defeating the crawling chaos back in your world, so
Was?
well.
I haven't even finished it.
She holds up an orb. While you were traveling, your world continued without you. Continued with your fake. She holds up the orb, and you see the events of the Siege of Rain unfold before you.
Oh no.
You see your friends getting completely ass handed to them by Nyarlathotep before Lucas takes the will of the dragon, and they all just completely just kick his ass. Then you see your clone get assassinated and dies in your friends.
Well, he doesn't look happy. Fresma, you need to protect my world. It's
I don't
important
need to
for
do
you.
it. I don't need to do anything. What happens in
You-
your world is not my concern. But
Yes, it
she turns around.
is.
Well, she's
She
not.
gestures to the line. You need to judge souls. If you let the observers do what they want, you won't have any souls to judge. They'll be trapped away from you forever.
One of but many worlds I judge, Miss Lily. But I suppose you are correct. Nyarlathotep in your world causes problems for everybody. Not just me, but many of the other gods as well. His
So then,
victory would cause problems.
why do you refuse?
Whoever said I was going to refuse? You interrupted me.
Just very on edge.
It is understandable. Perhaps you were better off not remembering this. But I am aware of your plan, Miss Lily. But I do not have anyone to send to you. Rather, I have someone I will send. Let me rephrase that. Instead, I
I
will
have
send
someone.
you to someone.
What? I need to get home. Morale is crushed.
You, of all people, should have known. This would not have been a quick trip.
I suppose that's fair. But
Do not worry. Time means nothing to me. Time means nothing to gods. You are finished. Barely any time will have passed. At least, not for your friends.
hopefully it won't be too long. I don't think Huoshan. I don't think my friends are gonna be well off until I'm back.
She opens up a portal. You should trust your friends. They are sturdier than they seem. Though, the unicorn. What is her name? Nadine?
Nadine.
She may be the most difficult to deal with when you return.
She always is, but it's been worth it more recently.
Well, let me put it this way. Your friends are smartened up to your plans, except for her.
She does.
Now, please quit wasting my time and yours, and go through this portal. The person on the other side is waiting for you.
Asmodeus?
No. You look through the
She
portal, it's more of a green fields. Well, very vast green fields on the other side.
hmm, she shrugs and walks there.
Alright. I'm going to assume you still have, like, the Will of the Empress and the Soul of Faust on. And if you don't, we'll
Yes.
just say, okay. So, as you step through,
We're just gonna assume God shenanigans for how the soul did stuff.
of course. So when you step through, you find yourself in a large, vast field of plains. See a lot of people of varying races just chilling, resting, spending their afterlife in relative peace. As you are watching, you see a young Longma walk up to you. Excuse me, are you Flame Lily?
What does this one look like?
It's like a small red Longma. She
A
seems
red
to be
llama.
no
Okay.
no older than Lotus.
Oh. Yes. What
Oh,
is this place?
great. Oh, welcome to the Elysium Fields. This
A what?
is it's well, it's not heaven, not entirely, but it's it's a great place.
So this is one of the good afterlives?
She nods. Yep.
I wasn't entirely sure there were any.
Oh, there are a few.
So how do you know my name?
Oh, the person who Miss Pharasma um sent you for. She told me about you.
Hmm.
And well, she wanted me to bring you to her immediately after you arrived. So, if you could, please follow me.
Do you worship Pharasma?
Oh, no.
Oh,
None of us here have to worship her. Some of us do, but
I was just curious. Since you spoke to her or something.
no, we only see her once before she judges us. Oh, occasionally Pharasma comes here to deal with, well, sometimes people who aren't supposed to be here come here, and Pharasma comes to deal with them personally.
She nods. I had a similar experience with hell, actually.
Well, Miss Lily, if you would follow me.
Okay, she
Alright,
does.
she begins walking, leading you to this more foresty area, and where you find this very ancient-looking shrine. Seems to just be um not in any way related to Longma and Faunum, but definitely you do get that aesthetic of it. Out of game, this is straight up just like ancient Chinese stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. And she takes you up to a small shrine where you see someone waiting inside. You can't exactly make her out until you open the door.
Mm, so it was sent for?
Mm-hmm.
She opens the door.
Alright. You open the door, and you come face to face, once again, with the Empress.
Lily immediately bows. Y- y- Well, it's
She
just left
just
speechless.
she just looks and smiles. Hello, Miss Lily. It's been a while. She puts her hand to her chin. I think the last time we met. Hmm. Oh, you rescued me from a rather horrible fate.
I killed you.
Oh yes, I suppose you did that too. She just chuckles. Not even like taking that seriously. She just passes it off as a joke.
You're not angry?
Why would I be? I'd be much more angry if you left me there. Lily, I asked you to kill me. I asked you to release me of that fate, and you did. And now I am here with many, many new friends.
But I didn't stop it. I worked with them.
We all did. Everyone did. If it weren't for you and your friends, I mean, maybe no one would have ever learned the truth. Maybe you would have all blindly worked for him until his ambitions were complete.
Okay, but why am
Lily,
I here? Yes.
sit.
Yes, Empress. She does immediately. Yes, Empress.
You have the will of the Empress on you, don't you not?
She unpockets it.
She looks at it. As I thought. It doesn't even take her a moment to look at it as she realizes. Hands it back to you. It's as I thought. It's not complete.
Not complete. Forgive me.
Yes. Calm down, Lily. I'm not mad at you. Take a couple deep breaths and calm yourself down.
Okay.
That amulet is indeed very powerful. However, it's much more stronger than it is in its current state. And I think I already know the reason why.
It's because I'm a unicorn, isn't it?
No,
No?
no. The amulet is tied to one's heart, one's soul. And its true power is awakened when one's soul is free of doubt, free of fear, free of pain. If I had to guess, Miss Lily, there are many things in your past that you cling on to, and perhaps to your detriment.
I've been doing that more often than I should.
Yes.
It used to be a strength. What kept me going?
But now, your burdens weigh you down. Your regret holds you back. Your fears stop you from progressing.
She nods.
She leans forward. That is why I had Pharasma bring you to me. To cleanse your soul of those emotions. And to unlock the true power of that amulet. The will of the Empress is not its true name.
Oh,
It is, well, it is only called the will of the Empress before it is properly passed down. Until it finally evolves into its true form. We call it the mandate of heaven.
mandate of heaven.
She nods.
Why is it named after an afterlife that we're not even in right now?
I don't make up the rules. It was called that when I became the Empress. And it was called that when my predecessor took the throne. And so on and so forth.
She nods. I suppose it's just one of those mysteries that I might look into if I have the time.
Well, perhaps soon you will. But until then, you must work on removing those emotions. Pharasma has allowed me to gaze into your life, and I see 3 great regrets that hold you back. 3 great grudges that you must let go of. And until you do, the true power of that amulet will never be yours. And, well, the throne of the Empress will never be yours either. Until you get rid of these doubts.
She nods.
She stands up and begins to walk out. Come with me, Miss Lily.
Yes, Empress.
They begin walking up. You begin walking up with her up a mountainside. It is winding and twisting, and eventually the grassy plains of Elysium finally give way to rocky, lifeless mountain. You climb up, passing even clouds, until finally you make your way to a cave. This cave will allow you to see into your past, will allow you to see those great grudges that hold you back. But I will tell you this. Once you step in, you will not be able to step out until you have removed those grudges.
I understand.
Now go, Miss Lily. I will be waiting here for one of 2 conclusions. Either you come back out obtaining the power of the mandate of heaven, or you will become a permanent resident of this place.
As is your will, Empress.
Oh, and one more thing, Miss Lily.
Yes?
She just smiles. Enough with the formalities.
Um, what should I call you then?
Hmm. Call me Diao,
Yeah.
she says with a smile.
Okay, Dia.
It's honestly been a long time since anyone else aside from myself called me that. It's refreshing.
I mean, suppose it would be. But yes, I will get that done.
She bows. Good luck, Lily.
Lily nods, looking a lot more confident,
All right.
and heads into the cave.
All right. As you go in, it is rather dark, occasionally lit by glowing white torches. And eventually, you make your way to the very back of the cave where you see a statue of Pharasma, and it is pouring this very shimmering, colorful water into a small bowl that seems to overflow into a pond that seems to just constantly loop itself around.
No spirit trip is complete without questionable substances.
Of course.
Lily drinks the water.
Alright, you pick up the bowl and drink from the water. The water is actually surprisingly refreshing, very cool. The last time you had water this good, you were in the Dreamlands.
Roll a D100 for your strange fluids.
No.
Oh.
But as you do, you quickly become overcome with this lightheadedness, and you collapse in the cave. As everything around you goes dim and black and quiet. Almost immediately after, your eyes snap open, and you find yourself in the woodlands, of all places.
Oh no.
As you get up, you look around, and you hear a faint sound. It seems to be that of a child playing.
She heads towards it.
All right. So as you do, you eventually make your way to a small cottage in the woodlands. You see a pair of a unicorn couple, um, seemingly busy with their various professions. And you do see the child in question playing rather dangerously close to a cliffside. And you do recognize that child, Lily. It's you.
Mhm. So Lily's gonna walk over to the cottage.
As you get closer, you see the young child Lily just goes, "Mommy, mommy, come look at me!" And all you hear from the mother is just a mm-hmm. She seems to just pay no mind as she's continuing to work. Eventually, the young Lily continues to call out until eventually you see the ground beneath her give way, and after a scream, she slips off the ledge, tumbling down. It's only not even like a couple moments later, after the room of the cottage, the area around the cottage is silent. Does the mother finally go, Lily?
Only she was more responsible.
And then immediately as you say that, your mother turns to you. Perhaps I should have been, but I took our safety for granted. And
It
now
doesn't matter.
my little girl is dead now.
No. It's the opposite. Your little girl found a home that could take care of her better than you can.
Perhaps that's what we deserve.
Perhaps.
We didn't have much time to mourn her when the Demon Queen attacked.
So that's why you didn't look.
I wish I could have. If I ever had the chance to see her again, I'd ask her to please forgive me for being such a foolish mother.
There's nothing to forgive. She found a better life.
She turns to you.
She wouldn't change a single thing about what happened.
So you hold no grudge?
No. But I can't call you a mother either.
Closes her eyes. Well done. And everything around you begins to evaporate and melt. And it eventually reforms, and you find yourself in an attic. And as you look around, you already hear very familiar sound of a certain attic whisperer. And standing in front of it is another younger version of you. It's my fault. It's my fault she died the way she did.
Lily walks up behind herself and gives herself a pat on the shoulder.
I could have done anything. I could have taken her and tried to escape, but I was too scared to do something like that.
There's plenty you could have done, but there's plenty you already did.
I I don't know if I can believe that. At the end of the day, Lotus is still dead.
No. She's, in fact, Lily slaps herself.
Smack.
Lotus isn't dead at all. Lotus is right there. You've just got to fix her.
Fix her.
Fix her.
How the hell do I fix something like that?
You build anew. You make her a body, get her soul back, and let her live the way she's always needed to. Don't abandon her, especially not now.
Do you think if I do, could would she forgive me? Could I forgive me?
She, she wouldn't have to forgive you. She already loves you.
Could I forgive me?
She nods. Yes, it'll take time, and you'll worry about being as neglectful as your parents were, but you'll do a good job.
The lily clone looks up at you. Well done. And the fake lily and the attic around you again evaporates and melts, and it reforms into the third and final area. And it is the area where you discovered the heart of Huoshan. You see another version of yourself covered in blood, kneeling in the remains of the heart of Huoshan, and by extension, the remains of the Empress.
She steps forward slowly.
I killed her. I murdered the Empress. I could have done so many other things, but I chose to murder her.
It was her orders. You had no choice. You know that.
How long have you been telling that to yourself?
It's what we were taught in the academy. We
The
serve the
Academy.
Empress.
I wonder. Don't you think maybe just once we shouldn't have listened? Maybe there could have been another way to
There was
save her.
many times we shouldn't have listened, but that was not one of them. We shouldn't have listened to Flag, but we have to move on. We have to owe up to our mistakes.
She, the other Lily picks up the will of the Empress. Am I even worthy to hold this? I killed the Empress. I've worked in the name of a terrible god. I've killed people perhaps didn't need to be killed, but did it because he told me to. And I just followed him blindly.
You didn't follow him blindly. We had plots to assassinate people. And those were entirely unrelated to him. Look. We're not under his influence anymore. We shouldn't regret the decision that the Empress made, or what we do afterwards. If she, sorry.
No, go ahead.
If she didn't want you to have that, she points to the wall, then she would have taken it.
Even if she could forgive me, I don't know if I could ever forgive myself for everything that's happened.
Takes a long time, but I think we're ready to move on. Huoshan needs us. Lotus needs us. Lucas needs us.
Turns to you and smiles. Well done. And from the other will of the Empress comes a blinding light, and you are temporarily blinded.
I got my eyes.
Oh no, my eyes!
My eyes.
As your vision returned, you find yourself in a chamber. It is a very large, glowing white chamber, and before you are all the empresses that stood before you, including Diao, sitting
Lily
in
bows as hard as she can, smacking her head against the floor.
She bows so hard she stabs the Empress.
Oh no. Well, as you do that, Diao speaks up. Rise, Flame Lily.
She raises slowly.
We have watched your plights. We have seen into your soul. We have seen your past. And we have seen your future. We have all debated, and we have judged, and the vote is unanimous. We have deemed that you, Flame Lily, are fit to hold the mandate of heaven.
Really?
Diao nods. You have proven that you, alongside your friends, are the ones to determine the future of our world.
I almost thought you were gonna say the fate of Phonem.
I am now upset that I didn't do that.
You can steer us con it.
I am very upset that I missed the chance to say that.
Strider, it's okay. We can fix it in the edit. Say fate of Phonem.
And you are the ones that will determine the fate of Phonem. I could not say that straight now. There's no way I could ever say that straight.
See.
Yay.
Anyways, the Empress flies down, and the other Empresses follow suit as they all begin to glow. We pass down our will, our hearts, our minds, and our souls. We pass them to you. And as they glow one by one, their bodies begin to collide and enter the will of the Empress as it changes, molds, and evolves,
Dun,
eventually transforming into a large, not large, but you know what I mean. A large amulet of a dragon with a glowing green jewel in the middle that glows with a light you have never seen before.
Oh no, it's the color out of space.
Oh no!
You're all initiative.
Do I still have it? Yes, I do. Alright, Flame Lily, you have acquired the Mandate of Heaven. I'm going to send you a link of this. I'm very excited to see your reaction when you see two very certain words.
Okay, let's see if I can open this.
In Google Docs. If you can, I'll just read it to you.
Oh, it looks like it's loading. Yeah, okay. Do you want me to read it out loud or?
I'll read it out. If you.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, it's up to you, but yeah.
I will read it out. All right. The Mandate of Heaven. Mythic item. Let's see. That's spoilers. Flame Lily has been taught to harness the true powers of the will of the Empress. Now containing the full body, mind, and soul of the Empress, it has now evolved into the Mandate of Heaven.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Up to 5 times per day, anyone who wields the Mandate of Heaven may tap into its power. As a full round action, the wielder may inherit the legendary powers of the Mandate of Heaven, bestowing upon them near godlike powers. In addition, while the Mandate of Heaven has charges, the wielder is treated as Mythic Tier 2.
Oh no.
Let's see. And then the 3 abilities. The Mandate's body. The wielder is transformed into a dragon as per the spell Form of the Dragon 3. The wielder retains all of its abilities even in this form. While in this form, the wielder may spend 1 point of mythic power to grant one ally Form of the Dragon 2. This ally also retains their abilities. The Mandate's mind. The mind of the wielder expands further than any being has ever gone, tapping into knowledge of ancient sages long past. While using the Mandate's mind, the wielder is treated as an unchained monk equal to their level. The wielder may spend 1 point of mythic power to instead bestow these abilities on one ally. And then the Mandate's soul. Mystical energies. Mystical energies fill the wielder, giving them access to powers of the arcane. If the wielder is a caster, they are treated as being 5 levels higher than their current casting level for the purpose of spellcasting, DCs, and concentration checks, and sorcerer bloodlines.
Those
The
all seem fairly impressive.
The wielder may spend 1 point of mythic power to cast any arcane spell, regardless of caster level.